Hello guys, how are you doing? Today we are going to discuss about the battery charging system or charging section. As you can see, this is a voltage input and battery charging section or the charging system. So this diagram here represents the charging circuit, right? Yes. So every component here is responsible for the charging battery or the charging system in your laptop. So first of all, you need to make sure you have your adapter which supplies about 18 or 20 voltage. So here we will have DC input. So in case you have an issue with your adapter, probably you will have an issue with your charging system because that adapter might not supply enough power to charge the battery, right? Yes. Then apart from the charging adapter, you might also have a problem with your motherboard. So this section all there from here, this is the port. So everything here within here, I believe you can see, except the battery, that falls under the motherboard. So in case you have an issue with motherboard, so these are the components which might be faulty or might be having an issue. Hence, it will affect the charging circuit, right? Yes. So apart from the charging adapter, you need to check for your battery. Ensure that your battery is good. All there from the battery cells and the BMS system, right? Yes. So this section here, written control circuit. This is the PMS system. BMS, which stands for battery management system, right? Yes. And this one represents the lithium ions. So which means these battery cells are made up of lithium ions. These cells might be having an issue, or maybe they are faulty, right? Yes, because each battery cells here must contain the equal amount of voltage. If you have like 4 cells, each cells at least should contain the equal amount of voltage. If it is 3 voltage each should have 3 voltage. In case you have one of them having less than 3, maybe 1.2 or 1 or 0, it means one of the cells are faulty and you need to replace your battery, right? Yes. In case still you have an issue with the BMS, this is control circuit. Inside the BMS, you will have several components. You have an IC, you have some MOSFETs, you have the fuse. So in case one of those components have issue, still your battery might have some issues, right? Yes. And that BMS is responsible for controlling or ensuring that the battery speaks with the IO, right? And IO I'm talking about is this SIO. So meaning this BMS is the system which ensures there is connection between the battery and the motherboard, right? As you can see here, you have some signals running all the way from the battery into the SIO. So first you have SM data, and then you have SM clock, then you have the temperature. So these are the signals which must be there. The 3 signals must be there to ensure that there is communication between the 2 systems, that is the BMS and the SIO, right? In case you're missing one of those lines, or in case you're missing one of those signals, you will also have a problem with your charging, right? Yes. So here again, we can go back here from the charging adapter. So you need to ensure that you have a good adapter. Make sure that your MOSFETs are good, both MOSFET 1 and MOSFET 2, because these MOSFETs actually, these are responsible for charging, right? Yes. In fact, each and every component you can see here, all of them are responsible for charging the battery or the charging system. So in case you have an issue with any of those component, you will have a problem with charging. So we said you can check MOSFET 1 and MOSFET 2 if they are faulty. In my last video, I showed you how to check for shorted MOSFET, right? Yes. Then apart from the shorted MOSFET, you will have also this IC. This is called the charging IC. We have several of the charging ICs. We have what's called the PQ, and that is the most common charging IC in laptops, in most of the laptops. Then you have another IC called Maxim. Maxim also is it's commonly used, but for the laptops which are older generation. Then for the latest generations, you will have an IC called interseal. We have interseal IC, so that's also charging IC. So in case you have an issue with that charging IC, maybe the IC itself is faulty. That's why you can see this one is written BWM, that is power management. So in case this IC is faulty, so meaning we will have a problem with charging. Why? Because this IC must be working so that it ensures uh, the signals are running, or it controls these MOSFETs actually. So the responsibility of this IC to ensure that this MOSFET passes the voltage from this side to the other side, ensure that it must ensure that this MOSFET switches the power. All the MOSFETs you can see here, you have MOSFET 1, MOSFET 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yes. So this IC might be faulty, maybe they short that IC, or maybe you have some corrosion out of the spillage, right? Yes. Apart from that, you have these other ICs, these MOSFETs. You have MOSFET 3 and MOSFET 4. What is special about these MOSFETs? One of these MOSFET, for example, this one, I believe it is this MOSFET 3. This one is called charging MOSFET, right? Yes. And this other one, MOSFET 4, is called discharging MOSFET. So this one ensures that the battery discharges in the right manner, right? Yes, it controls the discharging of your battery. And this one is the charging. So meaning the voltage comes from here. You have the main power, that is 18 voltage in this instance. That 18 goes all the way, this is the main power, then it goes, this is the output of that power, it goes into the motherboard, right? Then you will start having some step down voltages, maybe 3.3, 5.0. You will have the voltage which goes into the DDR. You have the voltage going to the PCH and all those, right? Yes. So that 19 also, it branches here, it goes to this system. So this is the charging system, this is charging discharging system, right? Left here you have an inductor. So this inductor is the output voltage out of this charging MOSFET. So that voltage goes into the battery and it charges the battery. When you're not using the adapter, or when you're not supplying any power from the adapter, the voltage from the battery come along this line. So here you have a resistor. So from this resistor, it goes this way. I believe you can see this blue arrow. So this one indicates the direction of voltage flow. Then it is received by this MOSFET 5. Then after MOSFET 5, it's now directed into the motherboard, right? Yes, it cannot go back this way because already you should have voltages coming from this direction. So meaning it will go this, it will join this main power lane into the system or into the motherboard, right? Yes. Again, I believe you can see these blue lines. So this one represents the signals. So this is the signal. So meaning this MOSFET, for it to operate, it must receive signals from this charging IC. Because this charging IC is responsible for switching the voltage from here into the output, so that it can be used to charge the battery. Same case with the charging IC, right? Yes. So in case you have an issue, maybe your battery is not charging, first of all, you ensure that your adapter is of correct ratings. Then the second one, you ensure your battery is working fine. You can test with another battery. You can try to plug in a new battery. Then you check whether it is charging. That is how you will eliminate the battery problem. Then from there, ensure that your SIO is good, obvious, because this SIO is also controlling this charging IC. I believe you can see these signals here. We have some signals coming and going to the SIO and to the charging IC, right? Yes. Then your second point of checking is you check this. Actually, the third point is to check these MOSFETs and ensure that these MOSFETs are working fine. You have the gate of this MOSFET. You should have the, if this is N-channel MOSFET, you should have a 25 from the gate of each MOSFET. If it is the case of P-channel, you should have 6 voltage here, then 25 at the gate of the second MOSFET, right? In case you are having less than 25 here, it means you don't have the enough voltage for charging the battery. So maybe your issue will be the MOSFET, or the charging IC. You know, this IC must give the correct signals and must give instruction to this MOSFET to switch the correct voltage. Alright? Yes, in case you having less voltage switched from here, so it might be the issue with the IC or the issue with the MOSFET. Then out of that, still you need to check these MOSFETs whether they are shorted, especially the charging IC, the charging MOSFET. Then apart from there, the special thing about this MOSFET 5, I need you to understand this one. This is the issue when you have when you plug in your adapter, you can see the battery is charged fully or there's some voltages, but the moment you plugged out your adapter, your battery your laptop turns off as if it doesn't have the power supply from the battery. So this could be the issue. You see, this MOSFET is the one which switches voltage from the battery into the motherboard. So in case there is no voltage being switched from here to the other, from this side to this side, so that can be taken to the motherboard, so it means this MOSFET must be faulty, right? Yes, it could also means this IC is having an issue. Why? Because this IC, it should have a line which controls this MOSFET. So meaning what? In fact, each and every MOSFET has an IC responsible for it. So it's not when you have when you suspect your MOSFET is faulty, still you should consider checking the IC responsible for that power supply, right? Yes. So this other section here, this is not this have any connection to, it doesn't have any connection with charging, because you can see the signals are going to the BCH. This one's to the BCH, this one to the BCH, and there's no signal coming from the BCH to this SIO. So meaning what? So meaning this one doesn't affect anything to do with charging, right? Yes. So these are the most common adapter, the MOSFETs, or the shorted MOSFET, that is phase 1 power supply, the charging IC, the charging MOSFETs, and this power supply MOSFET from the battery. Then you have an issue with the battery, and I said with the battery you might be having an issue with either the battery cells or the BMS, and I say the BMS is what's called the battery management system, right? Yes, when you have an issue with the BMS, meaning there are some signals which might miss, and these signals, it has a voltage of 3.3, 3.3, 3.3, so all of them should have 3.3. So when you are checking for these signals, you check whether they have 3.3 voltage. In case you have the 3.3 from each line, it means the BMS is good, it's communicating with the SIO, right? Yes. So thank you guys, thank you so much for being patient with me, and please subscribe to this channel and share with your friends. See you in the next video. Goodbye.